Are you wondering how much does it cost to get one lead from your Google Ads campaigns in your industry? Is there any way to know that? In this video, I'm going to share with you how much you can expect one lead to cost in your industry with your Google Ads campaigns. So let's get started. So guys, to find out how to calculate our cost per lead, we need to be using the tool of Google Ads, which is called Google Ads Keyword Planner. You're gonna go to Tools, and under Planning, you need to go to Keyword Planner, and from here click on Discover New Keywords, and here we're gonna put our keyword. For this video, I'm using 3 examples from 3 industries, so we're gonna have a better understanding of how to calculate one conversion and what can we expect to get as a conversion in any industry. So the first example is gonna be dental industry, and our target keyword can be dentist in NYC, let's say, and we're gonna get more suggestions anyways, and one keyword would be enough for now for this video. And of course, we need to be more specific about the location targeting because we're not gonna be targeting nationwide, but for your case it might be different. But for most of the guys out there, they're gonna be using more specific locations rather than nationwide. We're not gonna be targeting United States, we're gonna be using some specific location, say New York, but in your case it might be anything, it doesn't matter. Save, get results, and dentist in NYC, emergency dentist NYC, dentist in New York, best dentist NYC. And by the way, there are more generic keywords dentist in NYC because there are several types of dentists. The more specific the keyword is, the more expensive it can get. For example, I found this keyword dental implants NYC because it's much more specific, and that's why it is more expensive. But for this video, we're just gonna use dentist in NYC, which is more generic. And if people are making the search, we are targeting more related keywords. And let's see their cost per click: $2.91, $1.73, $2.24, $2.15. So this is the minimum bid, lowest range, and we can spend up to $14, $11, $10, $17, but we should be spending at least $2.91, $1.73 to be eligible to get impressions, to get clicks. So we're gonna be spending at least these numbers. So the highest number here is gonna be $2.91, and to calculate how much would it cost to get a lead for that specific industry and for those specific keywords, we're gonna go here and calculate that. And I've already prepared a statistic for most of the industries that works. To get phone calls, you expect 10% of the clicks you're gonna get. So this 10% is not the best number because in many cases I've seen in different campaigns I can get like at least 20%. In some of the best campaigns you can get more than 30%. So at least 10% you should expect to get from all of the clicks. You can expect to get 10% of those to be phone calls or leads. If they're less than 10%, then that means something is wrong with your campaigns, or you need to rethink your strategy. Maybe you need to make some changes, and I think if it's 10% there are more improvements to make and it can be improved. That's what I've seen in my case. I think 10% should be on average. If it's less than 10%, I think it should be improved. So to get phone calls, we need to expect 10% of the total clicks as a conversion, and to get form submissions and e-commerce, we need to be expecting 2% to 5%. So why it is much lower than this one? Because form submissions, for example, takes extra steps. They need to fill in the information, and they should be willing to wait several hours, not days, to get reply from the business. So most people don't choose that. Most people directly call to the business and want to get answer to their question as soon as possible. So for e-commerce, this is also the same because they will make their own research, and because from the first click many people won't buy. They will make their research. After comparing to the several products, they're gonna make purchase. So it's gonna be 2 to 5%, and I think it's on average, it's absolutely normal. So we're gonna be taking at least 2% here. For e-commerce, by the way, we're not going to be using this dental keywords, of course, but you can have an idea how to calculate those numbers. So I've just put the e-commerce here just to get an idea to how to calculate those numbers. So let's get started and how to calculate those numbers. So one lead equals the cost per click was $2.91. That was the cheapest, and we're gonna put that number here. $2.91 divided by 10% means we need to divide it by 0.1 and equals $21.10. So to get one lead, you need to be expecting to spend at least $21.10 to get one phone call. So to get one lead or to get one phone call, you should be willing to spend at least $21.10. It is for those specific keywords and for this specific industry. So some of the keywords might be 10 times more expensive or the cost might be different. Let's calculate it for form submission. So here we should be dividing that by 0.2 and the cost is going to be 145.5. So to get one form submissions, we can expect to spend $145.50. So this is much more expensive than this one. So if that works for your business, you can focus on form submission as well and phone calls as well. But if it doesn't work for your business, you can only focus on phone calls because as you can see, that's much more cheaper than getting form submissions. And if it works for you, for example, if your profit margin still looks good, you can do both and you can focus on both. And this is for dental industry. And let's move on to another industry, which is moving industry, and I'm gonna say moving company in NYC. I think that's the keyword which is used by our ideal customer, right? Moving company in NYC. Get results. So moving company NYC movers, that's more generic. So we're not gonna be choosing them. Moving company New York, cheap movers, best moving companies NYC, moving services NYC. So these are the four keywords, and I think those would be enough. So cost per click minimum $15, $15, $15, $15. So on average, the minimum requirement for this industry is $15 for those specific keywords. And let's choose the most expensive one, $15.59. And let's use it here as well again, $15.59 divided by 0.01. It's gonna be $155.90. And to get one lead or to get one phone call, you should be ready to spend $155.90. You should expect to spend that much amount. So you cannot expect to spend 60, 70, $80. You should be willing to spend at least $155.90. If it looks very expensive to you, try to choose much more cheaper keywords from this list, but just make sure they are more eligible for what your service offers. NYC movers cost. This is more generic keyword, but if you are gonna go for that, it's gonna be $8.86. So you can choose cheaper version of those keywords just to reduce this number. But those keywords that I've chosen here, these are the best keywords and they are more likely to bring you high quality customers than the other types of keywords I have shown you. For example, some keywords may cost $6, but are they good keywords? As you can see from here, they're not good keywords. Some of them might be brand terms, some of them might be too generic. $6.46. Let's see this one. Furniture movers. They're too specific. If your company offers furniture moving, you can do that. Otherwise, I think those keywords are really good. But if you want to go to cheaper types of keywords and they're too specific and it works for your business, you can choose that as well to get the numbers from here down. And let's calculate for form submissions. For form submissions, it's going to be very, very expensive, as I'm guessing, because it's 5 times more expensive. It's 2% and it's 10%. So let's calculate that. $779, which is very, very expensive. For these types of keywords, for this industry, you should not be focusing on form submissions because that's very expensive. You should rather focus on only phone calls to get phone calls, and form submissions will cost you a lot and may waste your ad budget. And let's move on to another example, which is business consulting. in NYC, and let's get an idea. So small business consulting firms, business consultant in New York, boutique consulting firms, New York, business consultant, NYC. I think these four keywords would work. And as you can see, one of those don't have any ideas. So we're going to choose one more keyword, business consulting firms, New York. So we have chosen the keywords, and the keywords $2, $2, $5, 1.99. So let's imagine we're gonna be using this keyword as well, business consultant NYC, which is pretty good keyword, right? And the intent is good. So this keyword will give us an idea how much should we be willing to spend to get one phone call. So $5.37. Let's calculate that, and that's gonna be $53.70. So to get one phone calls or one lead, we should be expecting to spend $53.70 for that specific keyword in this industry. But for those keywords, it can be much more cheaper, as you can guess, but at least you should be willing to spend $53.70 for that industry. And to get form submissions, let's calculate that. To get form submissions, $268.50. So you should be willing to spend $268.50 if it works for your business. If your service charge is a lot higher than that and it works for you, you can of course choose form submission as well and phone calls as well. You can focus on both. But if it's very expensive for form submissions, you can only focus on phone calls. And as I told, try to lower the cost per click by choosing the other types of keywords which cost a lot less. And the other solution would be to increase this number, not 10%, try to make it 20%, 25%. I know 25% might be a lot harder for some industries, but if you want to reduce this number, that's one of the best options. Increase the conversion rate. This 10% should be 15%, let's say, or reduce the cost per click by improving the ad quality, improving the campaign quality, and that's gonna reduce the overall cost per conversion. So if you guys found some value from this video, please like and subscribe. And if you need any help in your Google Ads management, or if you need any help in generating calls with your Google Ads, you can let me know by visiting my website, and see you guys in my other videos.